The Senecas of Tiffin Calvert will ride into Bob Wine Field tonight on a 2-game win streak, but will face a refocused Lucas squad coming off their only loss of the season. It's the state-ranked Lucas Cubs meeting 3-3 Calvert on the gridiron, streaming live and free to smartphones, tablets, TVs, and PCs. And it's all coming your way next.
When you're a local business owner, getting your business online can be a painful, expensive undertaking. But it doesn't have to be. With TMS Plus Digital Essentials, you'll get 6 essential services to launch your digital marketing, all for one low monthly price. Cut through the noise of today's digital world. No hype, just results. That's TMS Plus. Visit tmsplus.com now for your free digital snapshot and for a chance to win a free 5-page website.
Stop in the Cub Cave Carryout in Lucas, conveniently stocked with everything you need, and even a one-stop pet shop. Located on Ohio 39 in the heart of Lucas. AP number 7 Lucas in Division 7 looks for a bounce-back performance tonight as they host Tiffin Calvert and a streaking Seneca squad, seeking their 3rd win in a row. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Bob Wine Field. I'm Brian Skronsky, joined by the great Effie James tonight. And I think we got a fun contest on our hands, an exciting test for both teams. Certainly, Calvert, talked to a couple of their coaches. They feel like they're starting to hit their midseason stride at the right time. They got a couple of kids that were banged up early in the year. They're back. And then on the flip side, the Cubs, they got 2 of their stars unavailable maybe for the rest of the regular season, Effie. So it figures to be a fun battle of wills for these 2 small school powers.
Sure, and those injuries to a couple of those key Cubs are going to really make a difference in their rushing attack and also defensively, too. So it'll be interesting. And like you said earlier, on paper, it looks like this will be an easy win, but maybe not.
Now pause and honor America with the playing of our national anthem, Star Spangled Banner. Big props to the Lucas Cubs marching band and 3 football players actually out there, Effie, making
double
a contribution.
Tonight.
So, getting their money's worth here this evening. And,
absolutely.
Quite the dichotomy that we have between these 2 offenses, okay? So the Senecas, they boast great offensive passing attack, one of the best, actually the best in the SBC River Division, while Lucas, we know what they do.
Right.
They use that wing T flex attack, and pretty much they don't even have a wide receiver listed on the roster, Effie. So this is going to be power versus power, air versus ground.
Absolutely. And the thing about those types of games are usually some team has to give up their will during the course of the game, because both of those don't work, as we see the Lucas Cubs entering the field ready for battle. But it'll be interesting to see if Calvert is able to maintain what they want to do, which is to get the football thrown around the field. And like the scoreboard up, when Lucas is all about ball control, eating the clock, power football. So we'll see whose will is going to be had here tonight at this football game, and it's going to make a big difference on how those teams up front, if the Calvert offensive line can stand up against the Lucas defensive front, that'll say a lot about whether Calvert is able to pass the ball, has time to pass the ball, and can complete passes tonight.
Let's dive into our keys to the game, and that's one of them. Protect the quarterback if you are the Calvert Senecas. Harry Schultz, just a sophomore, but he's over 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns too, Effie.
Right.
But he's also been intercepted 11 times. So if they can take care of the football, protect their quarterback, could be in good shape. And for the Lucas Cubs, who are without 2 of their star running backs, like I mentioned, maybe for the rest of the regular season, you got to capitalize when you get into enemy territory. They were unable to accomplish that goal last week, and that loss to Canton Central Catholic, where they were beat 15-0. So for the Cubs, I think it just all stems on them getting into the end zone when they break into enemy territory.
Right, and like you said, that is a big key to be able to get into the end zone, and also the next man up mentality for these Lucas Cubs. And I know they play that way. Coach Spittler is huge about the next man up, next team up. That's how they maintain this legacy of winning they've had here. So the next man up is going to have to step up and play football here tonight for Andrew Finello, who was out, who played really well in the last game that I saw, which was a couple weeks ago of him. Had a tremendous game. I believe he was our player of the game that night. Played very well, and without him, they're going to have, looks like Grayson Jackson is going to step in for him and get those carries and take care of that responsibility. So a lot on the line tonight for both of these teams.
And here is the opening kickoff. We are underway from Bob Wine Field. This one's going to be taken on the run from right around the 17-yard line. Nice burst for Corbin Toms up the middle as he's dropped at the 42.
Nice run by Corbin Toms. He had that initial contact at about the 32 and start to spin and fall forward for an extra 10 or 11 yards on that running back. That run back putting the Lucas Cubs in great field position here to open.
So 1st and 10 for the Cubs from the 42. You see those nice tight splits that they have. Wing T. Bring a man in motion. It's Barrett. Instead they hand it off up the middle. And there's going to be a few yards available on the run. Look like a pickup maybe of about 2. Let's check out the starting offense for the Cubs. Presented by TMS Digital Marketing. Andrew Smolin at quarterback. He was banged up early in the year. He is back out there. Grant Barrett has been basically the bell cow for this team the last couple of years from the running back position. You talked about Jackson. Can he fill in? And then Zane Finley from the fullback position. And basically, when you go against Lucas, it's kind of all about the big puppies up front, pushing, moving the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely.
We'll see if they're able to do that tonight against the Senecas.
Absolutely, and they are willing to take 2, 3, 4 yards a carry. That is, part of their winning. That's their winning diagnosis for this team. They're going to take the chunk yards, and then when you fall asleep, they'll get a big play. So we've seen that a lot from Lucas. It served them well to this point.
Facing a 3rd down and 2. They pitch it. Barrett, running room, a creek to the outside. And he's going to be drugged down by the caller after he gets inside the 35-yard line. Check out the starting defense for the Calvert Senecas. And this is a roster here on the defense. It's been coming along. I got a chance to talk to the linebacking coach, and he said that he really has been pleased with the progression that they've had from week 1 until now. The back-to-back wins for them after they came out of the gates a little bit slow. They had losses against Mohawk and St. Paul where they were thrashed a little bit at the beginning of the year, but starting to play some better quality defense here, coming off of a shutout win against Margaretta last week.
Right, and this is going to be a different challenge for them. As you can see there with this power running attack, we see Barrett again with a big carry.
Wow.
And a lot of times corners and safeties aren't used to being in the box and being brought down into the box and having to make tackles at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. But that's what the Lucas offense forces you to do, is to make guys who are not used to tackling all game tackle all game.
And after another 1st down, the Cubs knocking on the doorstep here of the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 21. Just over 2 minutes gone by. Barrett again, left side, big hole this time. Shows a little wiggle, and he's going to move the chains yet again, Effie.
Wow.
And here's a look at Grant Barrett and what he's been able to do for this team throughout the season. Actually leads them in tackling as well as rushing yardage. Been into the end zone 9 times, all on the ground this year. 6.1 yards per carry, too, so he's been a productive back when he's had his touches, as you just saw here on this opening drive.
And Grant Barrett shows really great vision also. He has the option to go inside or out on this power play that they have, and he's that time he was able to catch as they stump him that time. But that last play, he was able to see something on the outside. He broke it to the outside for a big gain. That time the Senecas step in and get some penetration there right in the backfield for what looks like a short loss.
So the Cubs behind the sticks here a bit now. 2nd and 10 coming up. Barrett, the deep back. Finley, the lead blocker. It actually hits the turf. Takes a fortunate bounce right into the hands of Grant. And according to the Senecas, he coughed it up. The officials say that he was down, though.
Whoa. That is a tough call. But from the beginning, that the timing of that play was off, and the quarterback pitched it back to Barrett. He never got a hold of it, and it looked like to me from here that the ball was out, but they called him down, and luckily for the Cubs, they get to keep possession here on third down.
Smolin throwback pass here, and he short hops it. Incomplete. Fourth down coming up. And here comes the kicking unit for the Cubs.
Wow. Now that was a shock. Even on third down, I am shocked to see Lucas with the throwback screen, which was set up really nice. It was set up well, and they just couldn't complete the pass.
Color on to attempt a field goal, and he booms it up and through. So Lucas with the first points here of the Knights. They lead 3-0 over the Senecas, and that's a dynamic of the game that Lucas hasn't had over the last several years that Aiden Kohler has brought to the table. He's been virtually flawless throughout the season in the kicking game.
Well, and that kick had some room left, and it looked effortless, like you said, for him. And that is a weapon. And high school football doesn't normally use that weapon, probably not nearly enough, but that is a huge weapon to have a solid kicker in your program. But if I'm the Senecas right now from Calvert, that's a win. You know, I come out and get a defensive stop on my first drive, and even though they were down inside the red zone, looked like they were running well, the Calvert defense stepped up, stuffed a couple run plays in the back and a incompletion, and forced a field goal. So if I'm the Calvert defense, I'm feeling pretty good about that first possession.
Color now 3 for 3 field goal attempts on the season. He's also knocked down 19 of 21 PATs.
Wow.
Here he is to kick it away. And he sends it deep near side. It's going to be taken. Hunter Yankel, the senior. He finds a crease. He could get ghost. Puts a move on Color, but he's a pretty sure tackler. Able to have the speed to push him out of bounds, but not until after a huge return all the way out to the 33-yard line.
Wow.
Big return.
What a burst of speed by Yankel there. He hit about the 30-yard line, and he kicked it into another gear and sets up the Senecas in great field position here on their first drive.
So first down and 10 from the 39 is where it's going to be marked. And here's that spread formation. First down, they hand it off. A little bit of running room to the right side. Cal Warneman, the freshman.
Young backfield for the Senecas, the sophomore quarterback, freshman starting at running back. They're in that spread offensive look, which, you know, again, it's amazing how polar opposite these two offenses are. Spreads you out and makes their linebackers for the Cubs have to come out and cover, which they're probably not as accustomed to in this wide open offense. And we're going to have illegal motion. The center move the ball.
Be our first penalty of the evening will go against the Senecas, so it'll back them up 5 yards, make it a second down and 12.
Second down and 12.
You know, interesting thing about the preparation for this game, I'm sure for Coach Spittler is just trying to get his DBs ready for this tremendous air attack from the Calvert.
The lefty goes up top, had a man, and just overshot the intended target. Blake Ronski, his favorite target throughout the season, but just a bit too tall for the 6'3" wideout.
And I'll tell you, Ronski was open. He had a step on the defensive back there, and he just overshot him there on that throw. But this is what they can expect from this Calvert team.
Three wide receivers split out here to the near side. Cubs fans making a lot of noise right now, hearing a lot of cowbell. They just swing it out here into the flat. Nolan Beaker, sure tackling by the Cubs. Braden Jackson coming up to help make the stop.
Well, just a little slip screen for Beaker there. He makes the catch, and this is where the Cubs are comfortable. They're going to rally up and make the tackle, and that's what they got to do. They got to protect themselves against the deep ball, but then when they throw short, they got to rally up and be sure with those tackles. So great execution that time by the Lucas Cubs defense.
This is an interesting spot on the field from the 39. Right
Sure.
now the Seneca is set up in punt formation. I'm just not buying it, Effie. Can you punt from the 39?
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think so. I didn't think so. Ronski's just going to take off. Can't shake off Barrett. Great open field tackle, and the Cubs will take over.
Yeah, that was just a little bit. I think the Cubs were all over that. They played their base defense against that punt look, and they were all ready for that little, if you could call it a trick play. I think you call it a trick formation, maybe not a trick play. But the Cubs were ready either way.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was buying that. My wife wasn't even buying that, Effie. And when she has my credit card, she'll buy anything. I think I had got my card back tonight, though, so I might be safe for now. 1st and 10 for the Cubs. Keep it on the ground straight up the middle. I believe this is going to be Finley. Getting it across the 40. To about the 40.5-yard line.
And I like Finley. You know, he gets the ball, he rolls over the football, protects it. He runs like a fullback, you know, and that's the thing. There's roles within this offense, and they stay within their role. Finley gets the football. His job is to protect the football, fall forward, and be a physical force up front for this defensive front of Calvert. 2nd
down, Barrett in between the tackles. Hard run, and he's going to have enough for a Cubs 1st down. So we take another look here on the Tridico Sign Company replay.
And it's going to be critical for Calvert, just like on this play, for those safeties. And that time we saw number 16, Kevin Ardner, come up. He had to come up and get involved in that tackle, because if they don't get down into the box, it's going to be a long night for their defensive front seven. So the corners and safeties, that's where this Lucas offense challenges your secondary to come up and be physical in the box.
Toss it to Barrett coming near side. 3 blockers in front, including Smolin. Picks up 3 on the carry.
Second and 7 for the Cubs.
Smolin under center. Bring Barrett in motion, and they drew a man offside. It was Nolan Beaker. Couldn't hold up.
Yeah, and Beaker that time, it was, you know, it is a different look when you watch this offense. They motion at different times, and you have to be disciplined in what you're looking at, because the Lucas offense, they could motion. They have a short motion right before the snap, and it could draw you off sides if you're not focused on that football.
So it makes it a 2nd down and short. Big burst by Barrett. Puts his head down and drives his way out near the 30-yard line before he's drugged down by Jackson Sizelove.
And that is a again, off tackle there for Barrett. And with the short motions, it really puts the defense on their heels. And if you're not ready to come off that football, you're going to get knocked off the football. And that's what happened to the left side of the Calvert defensive line. And once again, Barrett was able to get big yardage there off right tackle.
They need 35 to be big tonight. So far, he has been. The toss, though, coming the other way. It's to Grayson Jackson. And this is the kid that they really need to step up and show some big play potential, Effie,
Right.
from his wing position. We already talked about the injuries with Toms being out. No Andrew Finello. Toms may be lost for the entire length of the season, which is huge for them because he was only able to play in one game. Finello, at least not in a cast tonight,
Right.
like Toms is. Second down straight up the middle with Finley. Runs into a crowd but keeps the legs churning, still not down. And he picks up 7 yards, and I think he got the first down.
Wow. Really hard running that time by Finley. He was he had a couple Calvert defenders on his feet. He picked his feet up and got out of that tackle and just lunged forward and pushed the pile forward for the first down. Power running at its finest right now for the Lucas Cubs. And, you know, this is where they are going to force your defense to say, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to get tighter to the box? And you've got to get more bodies in to try to stop this rushing attack.
Not much space this time for Barrett. Though he makes a jump cut inside, able to fall forward for a gain of around 4.
Picked up by Nolan Beaker.
Cubs were able to get down to this part of the field on their previous drive and were held to a field goal attempt.
Yeah, if you remember, Brian, it was a couple plays, and even though they have a long drive, Calvert was able to make a couple plays in the backfield. They got penetration on a couple plays, and that took the Cubs out of their got out of sync and had to settle for the field goal.
Big crowd in front for Barrett, but he's chased down from behind. Nolan Beaker showing off some wheels.
Yeah, that was a great play by Beaker, running him down from the backside. And to be honest, that is the way that you can stop a rush attack. If you can get somebody to come from the backside,
sure, because
the Cubs commit so many people to the front side to the point of attack. If you can run them down from the backside, you've got a good chance to stop them for a short gain.
Cubs need 2 yards. Got to get inside the 10-yard line for a first down. And they'll put it in the hands of Barrett to do that. He may get into the end zone, diving for it. And there's the signal. He's in there. Touchdown, Lucas. Excellent drive by the Cubs, and they cash it in with a big touchdown run from Grant Barrett. We'll take another look here.
And Grant Barrett, as you can see, just breaks that to the outside. It was meant to go right off tackle, but he saw some daylight, and then he smelled the end zone, knocked down the pylon for the score. Great run by Barrett.
Lucas successful on each of their first 2 drives here tonight, and they'll tack on the PAT. It is 10-0 Cubs.
Well, right now, after that drive, the Cubs, of course, they look in sync. They're running what they normally do. Right now, if you're Calvert, you've got to figure out a way to. Last time we saw, Nolan Beaker ran a play down from the backside, and I'm thinking, if I'm Coach Reeser from Calvert, I'm thinking, we've got to commit some more to the backside, and if the ball goes away, you have got to run hard. Now, the thing about that is, we've seen Lucas enough to know that they've got a tremendous couple counter plays that they run against that double handoff, which we haven't seen yet tonight. If you commit too many people from the backside, then they can beat you either way. So, but defensively, this is where, as a coach, I remember saying we just can't sit and take it. So we've got to do something. We got to force them to go into their bag and not do what they do the best to beat us. So right now, Calvert, as we can see in that first drive, they've got some weapons. They've got to get this ball in the end zone and try to get some points on the board so they can take some more chances on the defensive end.
Color, kind of a squib look here. And Calvert not going to have the same type of field position that they had on the previous drive, dropping down to a knee there. Cal Warnament. Let's meet the starting lineup for Calvert on offense. We talked a bit about that sophomore quarterback, Harry Schultz, and what he's able to do. Yekel, pretty dynamic running back. They use him a lot in the passing game, one of the leading receivers. And then Ronsky is the player that you really got to keep an eye on. He is their big play guy. I believe he's been in the end zone 7 times already this season.
Wow.
Going to keep it on the ground here on first down. Cubs meet them in the hole at the 25-yard line. And here are the Lucas starters on defense. Really love the secondary and how aggressive they've been throughout the season. It's all about the linebacking core and that defensive front, though, for the Cubs year in, year out. You see Arnold, Jackson, and Barrett across that linebacker line, and then Rice, Arnold, Barino, and J.D. Cox up front.
And those D linemen do a great job of keeping their linebackers free so they can step up and make plays, just like they did that time against the quarterback.
Loading up, going deep, finding a man. Beaker with a big catch into Cub territory inside the 30-yard line. Here's another look. Schultz. You can see he's got a gun.
Yeah, that is a beautiful pass, and that also is the way that you can score points against Lucas. Lucas is going to play you man-to-man. They play with a free safety, but they play man-to-man. They're going to keep their 6 guys in the box. So if you can hold up, like we talked about as the key, if the protection can hold up and your route can develop, you can get big plays against the Cubs and force them to take some guys out of the box. But that is a big play for Calvert and a great catch by Nolan Beaker on that post route.
That's going to take us to the end of the opening quarter with Lucas on top, 10-0.
When you're a local business owner, getting your business online can be a painful, expensive undertaking. But it doesn't have to be. With TMS Plus Digital Essentials, you'll get 6 essential services to launch your digital marketing, all for one low monthly price. Cut through the noise of today's digital world. No hype, just results. That's TMS Plus. Visit tmsplus.com now for your free digital snapshot and for a chance to win a free 5-page website.
Stop in the Cub Cave Carryout in Lucas. Conveniently stocked with everything you need, and even a one-stop pet shop. Located on Ohio 39 in the heart of Lucas. We welcome you back to Bob Wine Field, where second quarter action just under play between the Senecas and Lucas Cubs, who own a 10-0 advantage. Brian Skronsky, Effie James with you guys here on the call tonight from the Lucas Valley. And you can tell fall's starting to set in a little bit, Effie.
Yes, sir.
It's a little bit crispy out here tonight. We're playing up in the treehouse,
yes,
and you can feel it. The temperature's probably in about, what, low 60s,
yeah,
50s?
It's a little chill up here. It's a little chill.
Going back to the air. And another catch and run by Nolan Beaker. And I misspoke earlier when I said that it was Ronsky who had been into the end zone 7 times. It's number 87.
Absolutely.
Who has tasted pay dirt 7 times and over 30 catches now on the year.
Well, Nolan Beaker, you can tell, is a football player. I mean, he catches a football and he gets his shoulder pads forward. Kid's got good size on him, 6'3", 180 pounds.
Yeah.
And got good speed, and right now has got Calvert in the red zone.
Looking left all the way. Actually trying to look off the coverage is what he was trying to do. The screen not set up very well, though, and Mortimer doesn't go very far.
And, again, screens are all about timing, and that time the Cubs got a little bit more pressure, and Schultz wasn't as comfortable back there as he needed to be, and he kind of let that one go a little bit early for a short gain.
Big opportunity for both sides of the football right here. Calvert looking to answer the touchdown that Lucas just had on their previous drive. And the Lucas defense trying to bend but not break as they bring some heat. And the throw is incomplete. In and out of the hands there on Beaker. And it'll bring up third down.
Well, I will tell you, Nolan Beaker was wide open there in the front of the end zone. And the ball was a little bit short, but he was open running across the end zone. And the Lucas Cubs are going to have to find 87 tonight because he's going to be a force in this passing game. And that ball was just a little bit short by Schultz. And I know Schultz wants that throw back because it was right open there in the front of the end zone.
Huge third down play. Senecas can get a first down inside the 3-yard line. Schultz looking, really clean pocket. Now Cox bearing down the throw to the end zone, and it's knocked down, incomplete. How about the coverage on the back end that time by Aiden Culler?
Well, beautiful coverage. He timed that up perfectly, and he could have easily, if he wasn't as disciplined, he could have jumped this ball a little bit sooner, but he timed it perfectly to get that ball out and break up that pass. Great defensive play that time.
So decision time now for Tiffin Calvert, who break the huddle. Their offense on the field. So they are going to roll with it. Schultz, back to pass, looking left all the way, launches to the corner of the end zone. He's got a man, he's got a touchdown. How about that?
Wow.
Nolan Beaker with the touchdown grab.
Well, this is just, hey, look, our guy is bigger and better than your guy, and I'm going to throw it up. Schultz did not read. He didn't look to see who was there or open. He just loaded up and let it go, and Beaker does the rest. That's a big-time throw, a big-time catch by Beaker, and the Lucas Cubs are scratching their head now what to do against this passing attack, which is right now a one-man passing attack of Nolan Beaker and Harry Schultz.
The PAT is going to get tipped, though. No good, so the score remains 10-6, Cubs in front. But that was a big answer there by the Senecas. They really need that one in the guts to go for it on fourth down there, to just chuck it up into the end zone. You're right, there was no reads, there was no play. Just where's 87, and how do I get it to him? Schultz put it up, and his guy went and made a play.
Well, I think Coach Reeser, what he recognized here throughout that series was that just physically and athletically, Beaker he's a man out there, and he recognized that he's got some size on all of the defensive backs of the Cubs, and he said, hey, we're going to take our chances, and I think that's a good call. He throws it up to their guy, and as we can see, they have clearly a little bit of kicking issues, so he said, hey, look, we're not going to kick a field goal here, we're going to go for it. And I thought that was a good call, good execution, and a great catch by Beaker.
Tonight's high school football broadcast is brought to you live and free on the OH.Report thanks to our generous sponsors, Pinhook Meats, located at 236 West Main Street right here in Lucas. Ohio Valley Manufacturing, now hiring with great wages for manufacturing positions. The Lucas Community Center, dining, rentals, and fellowship. Book online at lucascommunitycenter.com. TMS Plus local advertising. No hype, just results. And Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Well, one of the things we find out that happened, Brian, this part of the season, especially when you're on a 2-game winning streak, as are the Calvert Senecas, is that you gain more confidence and you start to figure out who you are, and you get okay as a coach with who you are as the Calvert Senecas kick off. And you get okay with who you are, and sometimes as coaches you try to fight and you want to be a certain type of team, and like, well, we want to run the ball more, or we want to do this, but this part of the season says no, this is who you are, and this is what you've got to do. And right now the Senecas look comfortable with the fact that they are a passing team. They're going to play that way, mix in a little bit of run the quarterback a little bit, and that's how they're going to be successful here. But on the flip side here, Lucas has got they've got a winning recipe as well.
Yep.
They know exactly who they are as well. So this drive, though, seems a little bit big, though. Seems big for Lucas after that scoring drive by the Senecas.
You're right. Don't want him to snatch too much momentum here on your home turf. And Grant Barrett, the guy usually that can be a momentum killer for the other team. He's got another nice run and a pickup right around 9 yards on first down.
I can tell it's going to be a work night for Grant Barrett tonight. Already up to 14 carries.
Wow.
Here early in the second quarter. So it's going to be a work night for the young man.
Just need a yard to move the chains if you're Lucas. Finley straight ahead. And Sparkplug churning those legs, churning out another first down. That's what he does.
Absolutely. And that's his role. That's his job. No cuts, no jump cuts or anything like that. We're just going to move this pile and get first downs. And, you know, it's interesting watching the Calvert defense try to figure out ways. As you can see, they're tightening their defensive line splits. They want to try to cover those gaps and commit more bodies to the box, but it is difficult.
They run it straight ahead this time. Barrett swallowed up almost immediately as he was hit pretty much in the backfield. Lee Morgan, the first to make contact.
And that's a good play by Morgan. He stepped up and got into the backfield, which is the key. If you can get a hit on Barrett or these running backs in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage, you got a shot to get a short gain, because if they get rolling and those linemen get moving, get some movement on the line, they're going to have a positive play. But right now what's happening is Calvert is committing more guys tackle to tackle, and they're going to be susceptible to a C or D gap run here if we get one.
Good looking play, set up a block to the outside, and it's going to spring him, keeping his feet and getting in. Noah Langston actually drugged down right at the last second.
We've got a flag on the play here, though, Brian, after a great run. After a great run, I think it might be a motion penalty against Lucas.
It is going to be an illegal shift. It's going to negate all of that yardage.
You know, we talked about earlier how the motion, the Cubs have intricate little motions right before the snap. Then the timing is critical, but you have to, once you set, you have to be reset for a full second. And if you're not, that is an illegal shift. And I think that's how they caught the Cubs that time, because usually their timing is right on point. They're set for a second and then the ball snapped. But that time, just a little bit too quick on the snap, and it cost them a touchdown, or nearly a touchdown.
It was Grant Barrett. He was set for like 0.01 seconds.
Right.
So it will wipe out that big run by Langston, and that's another kid that we've seen show some signs throughout the season.
Absolutely.
That he's got the burst, he's got the mentality to be a Lucas running back. And, hey, if it ain't broke, but it is broke this time, they went back to the exact same play. Effie didn't change a thing.
Right, and that time Lee Morgan ran it down from the backside, and again, we know that's one of the keys for defense. If you want to stop this running attack, the best way is to try to run it down from the backside, because if they get going at the point of attack, it's going to be trouble. But you're right, they were running the exact same play, the exact same way. And I'll tell you what, it looked good on the front side.
Yeah.
So that's a great rundown from the back by Lee Morgan.
Cubs are going to need 15 yards here to keep the drive alive. As Smolin from the gun now. Pressure coming, throws into a double team, and nearly making the catch was Langston. Actually, it was Aiden Culler, I'm sorry, as he readjusted for the football, but just could not bring it in.
Yeah, and that pass was, again, as uncomfortable as it looked for Lucas to throw the football, they just don't get out and run many routes. And, even though I thought it could have been a catch, but it had to have been a great catch that time. He almost came up with it. But, again, a really good defensive stand that time by Calvert. Really helped out by a penalty by the Cubs.
So Color punts it away. Fair catch called for and made by the Senecas. Sizlove hauls it in. And we'll get another look here at the Calvert offense coming off of a touchdown on their previous drive.
Now, the interesting thing about this drive, we'll see how do they play Nolan Beaker. How will the defense adjust to number 87? And he dominated that last offensive drive. And let's see the adjustment by the Cubs here and how they're going to play him. I would be shocked if they don't bracket covered him in some kind of way. Somebody over the top of him, and that's what it looks like. He's going to get some kind of bracket coverage over there.
Schultz from the gun. Sets, throws. Dropped on the play. Looked like the Cubs were playing some zone defense. There were 3 black jerseys in the area. He was actually able to fire that one in between the seam, but
a really good throw. A really good throw, actually, and you know, dropped that time by Jackson Sizlove, and that ball hit him right in the number. So, you know, this sophomore has got some kind of an arm, and the way the Cubs have adjusted is they're shifting their defensive secondary to Beaker, and after that short run and leaving some back-to-back one-on-one opportunities on the backside for other receivers. But, you know, those are adjustments that you have to make, and you can't just let one guy dominate the football game, and that is a great adjustment there by Lucas. And with this big third down play coming up, I'm still finding number 87. He's the guy you got to find right now.
The last play was a Cal Ornament 2-yard run, so it's 3rd down 8. Ornament, the lone back. 2 receivers to either side. Looking left, now coming back to the right, and guess who with the catch? Beaker's got another grab right around the 40-yard line. 9-yard pickup, and they only needed 8.
Well, if you can believe it, I think they snuck him to the other side of the field. They lined him up. He had been lined up to the field the previous 3 plays. This time they lined him up in the boundary, and he just ran a deep out and was wide open, and Schultz stepped in, made a really nice throw.
Take a quick look at the replay. Here was Schultz looking left like he had 87 over there, but we know better. Cubs bringing the heat this time, and they keep it on the ground. How about a big burst? Ornament breaking inside of the Lucas 45-yard line. Big run.
Nice run, but you can see Beaker with a great block, and we're calling his name a lot, but he sprung that play. He had a great block on the defensive safety that time to spring that play for Ornament. And it was, you know, right now the Calvert Senecas have a nice little balance. They're running the ball just enough where you do have to honor the run, but at the same time you've got to respect their deep passing game.
Schultz drops it, pressure coming, and he's going to get dropped. Touchdown in the backfield, Colin Arnold.
And that's a big play. You know, in the same way that, you know, when the Lucas Cubs kind of got off track, the penalty set them off track, Calvert now is in a second and long where, you know, it takes them off track and out of their normal play calling sequence. So we'll see what they have here on second and what looks like about 16.
Beaker's in the slot. Thrown wide by Schultz. It was low and incomplete. 3rd down, 19 on the way.
Incomplete, going to bring up 3rd down.
And for Lucas, I think this is where you need your defensive line. Make a play. Get some pressure on Harry.
Absolutely.
Cubs just going to bring 3. Actually, they do send a backer late. Arnold bearing down. Schultz breaks the pocket, the throw. And I think it's going to be a big 1st down.
That is a heck of a catch and throw.
There's another look. Schultz Go ahead.
Jackson Sizlove really tiptoes the sideline to stay in. What a catch.
So the Senecas
Wow.
keep the drive moving.
I'm very impressed with this sophomore quarterback. He has shown a lot of poise.
Now they bring Sizlove in motion, and he's going to be buried immediately. No place to go except for into the hands of Braden Jackson.
That is a big hit by Braden Jackson. He didn't buy it. He didn't buy any of the eye candy. He beat his man.
Boom.
And makes a big stick in the backfield.
He was able to shake off Beaker to get inside to make that stop. 2-yard loss. Schultz looking left all the way. Got a man in the flat. Sizlove, the second catch here on this drive.
And, right now you can see their passing attack is gaining some rhythm. They were running just short routes, and now they're starting to run a little bit more intermediate routes. They've got that one was a crossing route by Sizlove, and the Calvert offense looks to be gaining some rhythm here, and they've got the Lucas Cub defense off balance a little bit.
They need 6 here to move the chains. Lob to the outside, diving attempt is made, so Beaker hauls it in. It's going to be short of the first down yardage, though.
Wow.
Officials huddled up, talking about something.
Might be doing a on-field replay.
And they're going to change the call to incomplete, Effie.
Oh, wow.
So we'll take another look here. Would have been a heck of a catch.
Yeah, I know he reached out with one arm here.
I mean, the official can't get a
he's
much better
right
view.
There.
I'm not sure how you can get talked out of that if you're that gentleman.
Wow.
So it'll negate what I think would have been a 4-yard gain.
Right.
So it keeps it at 6 yards is what's needed here for the Senecas. 4th down. Pressure in the face of Schultz. He puts it up deep. And unable to get there is Sizlove. Great pressure up the middle by Lucas. Forces that one.
That was all about the pressure that time, and he was made to throw that ball off his back foot. He wasn't able to step into it and have more accuracy on that throw, and because of that, it was thrown a little deep. But great defensive stop that time, but I tell you that was a big call on that, not because it would have been a first down, but because it would have gave them maybe 4th and 2, I believe, and that shrinks your playbook a little bit. A lot more running options you would have had in that situation. But either way it goes, the Lucas Cubs defense gets off the field and gets what they really want, which is their offense with possession of the ball. 2 minutes, 41 seconds to play in the half with this ball control offense, and you do not want to give Calvert another chance to see the football this half. And they have certainly got the tools, and they've been doing it for the most part tonight. Just a couple penalties and a couple mistakes, and one big penalty and a couple mistakes have kind of stopped them from really scoring on all of their drives. So the Lucas Cubs got to feel good about this drive leading into halftime.
Always limited possessions when you play against the Lucas Cubs.
Right.
Seems like we've played a lot of football. This is just going to be the 4th offensive possession for Lucas. Right. They scored on their first 2, and then you mentioned that killer penalty where they would have been set up potentially on the 1-yard line on that big run by Noah Langston. Wiped out off the illegal shift. From the 29, Smolin back to pass. Pumps, goes up top.
Oh, my.
Tried to connect with Corbin Toms. Not a bad looking pass either.
Yeah, double move that time by Corbin Toms. Had a step, just a little bit short into the inside throw. But I love this play call. I love the play call. I'm sure the Calvert defense was not ready for that. But you got to take shots every now and again, even if you're a power running team. Take a shot every now and then just to get let the defense know that, no, we can still throw the ball a little bit. Our quarterback does have a good arm.
Smolin on the year heading into tonight, 21 of 44 through the air. He drops it, though, here in the backfield. Flag is thrown. So we'll have to wait for the call from the official. It's going to be a personal foul, probably a face mask. Let's see what happened here. They line up in the Wildcat there. You saw Toms was in the backfield.
Wow.
And so the yardage that they lost on the sack, they at least get back with the 15 yards for the face mask. So really not that much harm done there.
Right. No harm.
Here's Toms again, this time a gaping hole to the outside. He splits it between two defenders, showing off the burst, the speed, getting ghost down the sideline, 69 yards to pay dirt. Let the fireworks burst here at Bob Wine.
Wow. That is big time. Big time play that time by Toms.
And how about another look? Student body left. There's Finley. Actually didn't even seal a block, but it didn't matter.
Right.
Tom's just cutting between two of them. I didn't know he had this kind of speed. I got to be honest.
The speed. He untouched after that point. And I think that looked like the same play they were going to run the previous play.
Probably. So Culler tacks on the PAT, and the Cubs lead swells out to 17-6. Following the huge play by Aiden Culler, or Toms, I'm sorry.
Now, who would have thought that the Cubs would have been the one with the big play to end the to going into the half? Now we still have 2 minutes to go. So much for ball control and eating the clock. That is a big-time run by Logan Toms. Or Corbin Toms, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's big brother Corbin saying, I got you, little bro. I know you out with a cast on your foot right now. I'm going to hold it down until we get you back. And I see Smolin over here on the sideline. Appears to be healthy. So I don't think that he exited for any reason other than just a little change-up. Yeah, and it was a wildcat look, but it was a different formation. They were in the shotgun, so it was just maybe it's just a package they have for Toms, and I think that's smart by the coaching staff. Anytime a team has seen you as many times on film as these teams are starting to see you, especially now going into late season and to the playoffs, you're going to have some change-ups here with the way you line up and your personnel. Before that touchdown run, Toms, 23 yards rushing on the season. It's going to help the average. Absolutely. He did start at quarterback week 1 of the season, a victorious week 1 at Danville, 34-20 that the Cubs won in place of Smolin, who was out early with an injury. So he's not unfamiliar with being back in the gun and running the quarterback role for this offense. Yeah, he didn't look shy on that last run. But 2:07, plenty of time here for the Senecas with the spread offense. They've got a little bit of momentum going. They've been moving the football their last few possessions. Schultz to the outside. I think probably just throwing this one away. Yeah, and I think that time Schultz got a little greedy. They ran the bubble screen, and Beaker was there for the short one. But I think he wanted more yards and threw
decided to go a little bit deeper. But again, as you know, he's a young quarterback, and maybe he doesn't see the value of a 2-yard gain over a 20-yard gain. But right now, what they don't want to do is have a 3-and-out, especially if they're going to throw the football. So they have got to get some positive yards, and they do not want to give Lucas another possession here before the half.
Schultz going to toss the ornament left side, got some blocking. Cuts inside, puts his head down, and going to be real close to first down yardage. And the freshman will move the chains.
That is a nice run. And again, when you spread out and you spread the defense out, it leaves natural creases. And if you can have a running back that can find those creases and accelerate, you can find big yardage. And that's what they've done on that time for the first down.
Closing in on 90 seconds here in the opening half as Schultz steps up, launches deep, double coverage. Incomplete. Nearest player to the football, Corbin Toms.
And that time Beaker is, double covered as we would expect at this point in the game. But if Schultz put this ball out a little bit closer to the visitor's sideline, that ball is catchable. But again, great coverage that time by the Cubs. He's going. I don't think that the young man Beaker is going to be unaccompanied anymore tonight if Coach Spittler has his way.
Fake it to Size Love on the end around, hand it off left side. Ornament spun down, no gain on the play. 3rd down and 10 coming up.
Well, now, again, the Senecas now are facing what they didn't want to face, a 3rd down with time left on the clock for the Cubs. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't take a timeout there, try to get one more possession in before the half. But this is, either way, this is going to be a big 3rd down.
Tiffin Calvert allowing as much time to come off the clock as possible. Short on the play clock, though. Schultz takes a snap right at 0. And I think the official's kind of being rude on that one, to be honest. You're supposed to allow them, like that quarter second when it hits 0 FE.
Well, the thing about high school football is that we have the clock to look at here as fans, but in high school football, they go completely by the clock that is on the official. They pay no attention to the clock that's running. They go by the clock that is on their hip, and when that thing buzzes, that's it. And we've now got to a space where there's play clocks around for the visual, but that's not the official play clock.
On 3rd and 14, Schultz rolls near side, pressure coming, throws. Beaker with the catch in traffic. And he's going to pick up the first down. I believe there's a flag down back at the 31-yard line. And it's going to be roughing the passer, I believe, against Lucas. So tack on 15 more yards.
Wow.
And this is going to get interesting now.
Yes. A couple timeouts here. Looks like all 3 of their timeouts left for the Senecas. So they're going to be pretty close to the red zone with just under 30 seconds to play here in the half. Once again, that was a heck of a catch. I think we've said that a lot about Beaker, but that was a great catch with his hands in traffic.
This kid can play.
Absolutely.
No question.
Absolutely. Well, right now he's got man-to-man coverage, which is a scary thought.
He's just going to break off a short route to the outside. They throw it over the middle, and it's dropped again. Jackson Sizelove couldn't come up with it. So they used that time, Beaker as a decoy to the outside to open it up over the middle, and it was there.
Absolutely. That is sound strategy. If he's drawing 2 players, somebody's going to be open, and that time Sizemore just could not haul it in.
18 seconds remain. Senecas at the 28-yard line. Schultz rolling left. Clean pocket, he puts it up. Oh my goodness, Beaker got behind the covers. He's got another touchdown. Can you believe it?
Unbelievable. Now, well, and you saw the wheel route develop. He ran a short out, almost like he was walking. You knew he was setting something up, and he turns it up, and the Lucas safety took a bad angle, and he got behind the defense. Unbelievable. Great run, great catch, great throw. This kid is a player.
The Cubs actually had him double teamed.
Absolutely.
You saw Noah Langston was with him pretty much stride for stride. Then when he broke up field, to your point, Aiden Culler, he bit hard.
Right.
And it left it open deep. Beaker into the end zone for the second time tonight. And now Calvert going for the 2-point conversion to try to pull within 3. Schultz pumps and throws, and this time looks like Size Love's able to bring it in.
Wow.
17-14, 9 seconds showing on the clock.
Wow. Now that 2-point conversion, that was a rocket by Schultz, the quarterback. And Size Love was forced to make that catch whether he wanted to or not. That thing was planted in his chest. But that wheel route ran by Beaker was, like you said, the safety came up and he just took a bad angle. He was all over it. He saw the route being ran. He just took a bad angle. And when he turned upfield, and that's still a great catch, by the way, by Beaker, because that was not a great throw, and scored the touchdown. And, and you talked about it pregame and how this was just totally two different styles of offenses, and we're seeing how two totally different styles of offense can both be dominant, though, in the course of a game. And the Calvert Senecas, I figured out this is what we're going to do. Whatever happens, this is how we're going to play. Lucas, though, which is surprising, has kind of came out with a little bit more tricks than we're used to seeing from them. Little wildcat, new quarterback. So it'd be interesting to see with 9 seconds to go how the second half plays out.
Liam Kerr getting set to kick it away. Be a short kick, 1 hop taken, and the flip back. And the Cubs still have 1 second on the clock. Gotta love those home scoreboard operators.
Gotta love them. Gotta love them.
What do Lucas have in their bag of tricks here? It's going to be a run.
Right.
But what kind of eye candy can they tease you with?
Right. Well, right now, I think Coach Spittler wants to take this thing in, make his adjustments, and try to come up with a game plan as the Cubs take the knee for success in the second half.
Great first half of football that we have brewing here at Bob Wine Field. Lucas 17, Calvert 14. Just 2 different styles of play, both showing that they can be effective. Take a timeout. We'll be back with our TMS Plus halftime, so stay tuned. We'll have the Calvert Marching Band, the Lucas Marching Band, some stats, some analysis, the whole 9 yards. Keep it here. Live and free high school football returns on a Friday night from the Lucas Valley.
When you're a local business owner, getting your business online can be a painful, expensive undertaking. But it doesn't have to be. With TMS Plus Digital Essentials, you'll get 6 essential services to launch your digital marketing, all for one low monthly price. Cut through the noise of today's digital world. No hype, just results. That's TMS Plus. Visit tmsplus.com now for your free digital snapshot and for a chance to win a free 5-page website.
Stop in the Cub Cave Carryout in Lucas. conveniently stocked with everything you need, and even a one-stop pet shop. Located on Ohio 39 in the heart of Lucas.
enjoy. Carry on, my wayward son.
When you're a local business owner, getting your business online can be a painful, expensive undertaking. But it doesn't have to be. With TMS Plus Digital Essentials, you'll get 6 essential services to launch your digital marketing, all for one low monthly price. Cut through the noise of today's digital world. No hype, just results. That's TMS Plus. Visit tmsplus.com now for your free digital snapshot and for a chance to win a free 5-page website.
Stop in the Cub Cave Carryout in Lucas. Conveniently stocked with everything you need, and even a one-stop pet shop. Located on Ohio 39 in the heart of Lucas. Halftime here at Bob Wine Field. 2 quarters of play in the books. Lucas on top, 17-14 over visiting Calvert in what has been a fun, exciting matchup so far through 2 quarters of action. Brian Skronsky, Effie James with you here on the call. And we talked about it quite a bit throughout the broadcast, but 2 teams, totally different approaches offensively. And we've gotten to the point here, just a 3-point game. It's been some good stuff. Let's take a look at the halftime numbers, Effie, where almost all passing yards for the Senecas. It is all rushing yards for the Cubs. Just a couple penalties sprinkled in on either side. Fun football, man, all the way around.
Right, and I think just what we thought it was going to be, both teams sticking to their guns, sticking to who they are and what makes them successful. And there were times where we thought one team or the other was going to change because it just wasn't working, but they stuck with it. And the rushing attack for the Cubs, 187 total yards, and that's their rush yards, and that's how they play, and that's who they are. And for the Senecas, they haven't – I would like to think they would like to run the ball a little bit more effectively than 32 yards. They'd like to have a little bit more balance than that, because otherwise the Cubs are able to spread out and they're able to double cover their big weapon in Nolan Beaker at number 87, but they're able to play a little bit better in the secondary. They don't have to commit as many guys to the run. So I'm thinking they'd like to, here in the second half, pick up that rush stat from 32 yards and lower those penalties down. But other than that, pretty much what we expected, Brian, from these 2 teams, and a really good matchup when I don't know if coming in we would have thought that from the beginning.
Well, this is a Calvert program. It's been pretty successful over the last decade or so. Got off to a slow start this season. Losses against some quality teams, as we talked about. I think the loss at Mohawk in week 1 was probably a bit of a surprise for this team. They had a couple of guys out. Week 3 at St. Paul, a team that's 6-0 on the year, and then week 4, their other loss. They did get their breaks busted off by Gibsonburg, 64-16, but since then, a couple of nice wins at St. Joe Central Catholic and against Margaretta, coming off of a shutout victory here on the road, where the Cubs just got beat last week here at the friendly confines of Bob Wine Field. Doesn't happen very often, so I think that there was, a little bit of a perfect storm brewing, where there was some momentum on the side of the Senecas. Lucas, without a couple of their dynamic playmakers, I mean, where do we go from here? We were just shut out last week, but they've had kids step up to the occasion here tonight. A couple of big runs offensively for them, so it's going to be a fun second half, I think, to see the chess match here. The third quarter, it's always my favorite to see, what our coach is going to do, what are going to be the changes that are made. I'll tell you one thing, though, Nolan Beaker might want to have 2-3 guys on him in that Cubs secondary, because that dude, amazing. How many catches he got so far?
Yeah, Nolan Beaker right now has, of their 7 completions, he has 5 of them, and they are, all of them seem to be huge. It seems like he has a ton of them, but he's got 5 of their 7 completions, and one that's still questionable there on the sideline.
You're right.
But he has been a tremendous impact, even when he doesn't catch the football. After he had those couple big catches, that adjusted the Lucas defense. And for the Cubs on the offensive side, though, we're looking at Grant Barrett, who, he had a great half as well. 15 carries, 96 yards, just a shade under 100 yards in the first half.
Wow.
So he has carried the load here for the Lucas Cubs.
And we are underway here in the second half. Hunter Yackel on the return. And we'll get a look at the Seneca's offense, led by the sophomore quarterback, Harry Schultz. Came into the night, 12 touchdown passes, 11 interceptions, though. He has avoided the costly turnover so far in this game.
And he lets it rip. I love that in a sophomore quarterback, and you've got a guy who you're going to groom for the next 2 years, but he is not lacking confidence right now. He lets it rip, and he allows his playmakers to make plays.
This time they're going to go with a draw play on first down. The Cubs defensive line collapses the pocket around them. 3-yard loss, drop back all the way at the 20.
And again, that's something that's being disciplined by the defensive line of the Cubs, and you would expect them to come out with a pass there, and the Cubs stayed disciplined and made that stop right at the line of scrimmage, but ended up with a loss there. So great job by the defensive line of the Cubs.
Schultz steps up, hesitates now, rolls near side, throwing, and broken up. Coverage on the play by Hunter Church.
And that's a great job that time by Hunter Church. He just stuck with his man and did not get in there too early, just broke up the play. That's great defensive play. Good pressure, though, to start. That's what made Schultz have to move out of the pocket, and he had to rush that throw because he was on the run.
Lucas defense would love to get a 3-and-out here to open up the third quarter, get the ball back for their offense. Schultz rolling right, guns it. In and out of the hands. Yackel with the drop.
Well, I tell you what, I think that they've had a couple drops, quite a few drops actually, but Harry Schultz he's putting the ball right on the money, and he's had some costly drops, and he puts a lot of heat on that football. If you're not used to catching that ball, he puts a lot of heat on it. But nonetheless, the Cubs get a big 3-and-out and get their offense on the field with what should be pretty good field position.
The Cubs are going to block it. They block the punt. It's going to be scooped up by Jacob Rombach. Let's take another look here. Lucas just breaking through on that left side. Looked like a couple of Cubs got a hand on it. Corbin Toms potentially.
Well, and it's one of those rugby kicks, but the Senecas didn't block it like a rugby kick. They blocked it like a regular punt, and the punter took off rugby style, but he had no protection to that side, and the Cubs made a great play on the ball, and they are knocking on the door already here in the second half.
1st and goal from the 5 for Lucas. Special teams has been a major factor for them throughout the season. Smolin turns hands off. Barrett right side, gets skinny, reaching for the end zone. No signal yet. He's real close though. Touchdown, Lucas. So just like that, one play and into the end zone for the Cubs offense.
Wow. Special teams makes the difference that time, and it's amazing how small things and how those things can change the game. If the Calvert's able to punt that ball away and play defense, who knows what could happen. But nonetheless, the Cubs punch it in for the score, and the extra point, though, it's no good.
Yeah, it looked a little wobbly. Color misses for just the 3rd time this season. Here's another look. Barrett right side, cuts it in, got skinny, and then just falls forward over the goal line into the end zone.
Wow. That's just power push, power football. That is the worst possible position you want to put yourself in if you're defending the Lucas Cubs, inside the 5-yard line.
So the Lucas offense turns a spectacular special teams play into 6 points, extending their margin out to 9 now, as we're just over a minute here into the 3rd quarter. And coaches love talking about the 3 phases of the game. If you never want to overlook one, special teams sometimes can be, the red-headed stepchild or whatever you want to call it, the ugly duckling. You don't pay much attention to it. It's not the pretty girl at school, but when it is the pretty girl, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's real pretty.
Well, and at the college level, one thing I learned, the college level and even the professional level for sure, the experienced and coaches are coaching special teams. And as we know, even at Ohio State, the head coach was the special teams coach. He understands how important special teams play is.
Yako with some room this time as he found a crease to the outside. Gets beyond the 30, out to the 32. And another opportunity for the Seneca's offense. Went backwards on the previous drive, 3 yards. Had a drop as well, so not a great start out of the gates.
Well, and what I think the Senecas were trying to do that last drive, give a little bit of balance. They started, if you remember, with the draw play. They spread out, and again, once you get behind the sticks, it makes it tough. It puts a lot of pressure on your quarterback and your offense.
First down, they'll try the running game again. Warnament knocked down after a gain of 1.
And, you talked about it earlier, Brian, how these linebackers are the key. When they diagnose run, they attack in the backfield. And that time, both inside linebackers really drove on that football and stopped it for no gain.
Cubs just bring 3. The pass out. Athletic grab, I believe, made by Hunter Yackel.
No, I think he dropped that.
Referee does say incomplete.
Yeah, another ball that hits the receiver in both hands.
And now the Lucas defense with an opportunity for back-to-back 3-and-outs as the Senecas getting behind the chains, and this is danger time here if you're Tiffin Calvert. Trips here to the near side, looking right all the way, gunning one down the far sideline. Heavy coverage, and a flag is going to come in.
Yeah, that's an easy call. That time, I think that was Jackson Grayson was literally all over the receiver there on the sideline. Never got a chance to see the football. And it's going to be a 15-yard penalty for pass interference.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. We'll go ahead and take a look at the replay here. And he was going for Nolan Beaker. One-on-one coverage no matter what. Or excuse me, that was Blake Ronski down on the far side.
Well, if you notice here in the second half, Nolan Beaker has a couple escorts wherever he goes.
Yeah, no doubt.
He has a couple escorts, and they are going to make it tough if they're going to throw the football to him. And quite frankly, I don't know if that would deter me if I was the Calvert Senecas, because he is a weapon. He's got great hands. He's got great size. He's got the size advantage over most of the defensive backs. But
so a big penalty is going to get the Senecas all the way into Lucas territory. And the coaching staff of the Cubs has a point. This ain't the NFL.
Right.
Seeing the defensive coordinator losing his mind. Yeah, Coach Tom's down there really blew a gasket. But, hey, he got what he needed from the 48 now. And they're going to try to run it. But this Lucas defense not allowing anything in the run game. Grant Barrett coming up to make the stop.
Well, again, they try to run off tackle. Looks like a power play there out of the gun. And, again, you cannot, they are sure tacklers here in that front seven of the Lucas front. And right now they are playing well. They're trying to cover. They've got to be able to cover in the secondary. But then when they diagnose a run, they come up and make the play.
From the gun, throwing to the far side. Yekel with the catch. He's into Lucas territory with a pickup of 3, but it's going to be 3rd down for the Senecas.
And one of the things I think that Lucas has done, one of the adjustments they've made defensively, is they are playing with a couple safeties over the top, trying to protect themselves against the deep ball. The only thing they're giving them is the outside throw, which is what they got the pass interference on. But their defensive backs and their linebackers are really rallying up to short stuff and the run.
Cubs going to bring the blitz. 6 men come. They go up top, and it's going to be knocked down, intended for Beaker. Great coverage on the play by Corbin Toms.
Yeah, Corbin Toms with a great play, running step for step that time with Nolan Beaker. And puts his hand up right at the right time to knock that thing away. That is a tremendous play by Toms.
Toms listed at 6 foot, buck 47, going up against the 6'3", 180-pound Beaker.
And they're going for it.
Four wide here for the Senecas. Monster play. Cubs bring the heat from the far side. It's basically the same play. This time Beaker comes through.
Same play. Well, and we've seen that a few times tonight where the team says, no, that was a good play. We're going to run it again.
Run it back.
Whether it works or not. And, again, great throw by Schultz. Puts it a little bit more right on the money that time. Doesn't give the defensive back a chance to make a play. And that's a good box out. That's a box out that time by Beaker, boxing out the defender so he can't make a play on that ball.
4-year varsity player, and you can see why. Schultz on the quarterback keeper this time. Hasn't ran much here tonight. Entered the contest with 36 carries on the year. Only 78 yards, though.
Well, he's got three carries tonight, and it just seems like those are carries just to keep the defense honest, just enough to where they don't drop so many people in the coverage. But right now they are living off the big play, and to their credit, they're able to make them.
Schultz tosses this time. Cutting back against the grain is Warnament. He's going to be tripped up at the 20-yard line. Basically no gain on the play. 3rd down again. So the early downs not been very prosperous or fruitful for the Seneca's offense.
Well, and I think credit to Lucas Cubs defense for, playing they are playing pretty much everything well other than the over-the-top throws. They are playing the runs well, the short passes well. It is the over-the-top throws that are hurting them at this point. But this is a big third down.
Rolling right, coming back, looking middle and evading the pressure. Now Harry Schultz going to take off. He's down to the 12-yard line. That's basically right where he needed to be to move the chains, Effie.
Wow.
Might have to measure this one.
Wow. Yeah, that is close.
Officials taking a look at it.
You got to bring the marker up. Yeah, let's just bring the marker over just so we're sure. But, what's amazing about that play is to watch Schultz, again, a sophomore, running away from the side where the sticks are, but yet with enough awareness to know where he needs to get for the first down. And that's a smart play by your young quarterback, because it seems like he knew where the first down was, and, whether he ends up a little short or not, still, you could kind of tell as he reaches the football out, he kind of knew where he needed to get for the first down.
So the football marked out way over here on the far side. And it appears that the Senecas are like 5 inches short. From our angle, it looked like a first down. That was an interesting measurement. And again, we don't have a great angle from up here.
We're up here in the birdhouse or the tree house. It's got some weird angles. The lighting is a little weird up here, so
So you give the officials the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
I mean, what did he show? About 5 inches, though, is all that the Senecas need to get this first down. Easier said than done, of course.
Absolutely.
Against this Lucas front. All you can do is just smile.
Right. But this, a fourth down play here for the Senecas, they're going to be interesting to see what they do. Of course, conventionally, you just want to run and get the yardage, but that's not who they are. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this. You've got a mobile quarterback. You could get him out on the run. You've got a guy who is an automatic mismatch, who's now lined up in the slot in Beaker, or you could just and try to put it in the end zone. So it'll be interesting to see how they go.
I think the Senecas are going to take a timeout here as they looked at the Lucas defense. They had Cox, Finley, Arnold all lined up right over the top of the ball. The 4 linebackers, each in different gaps. Kind of gave me anxiety, too, just looking at all those Cubs up there. So talk things over, get your best play. Absolutely. But I think you're right. I know it's 5 inches, but this ain't really a running team, Effie. I'd probably put it in the hands of my quarterback, have him roll out, and if he has to take off, let him. But just look for 87, right?
Well, based on how that defense was lined up that time, as you said, the Cubs had 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, and when they lined up Beaker in the slot, they had pretty much man coverage. I'm sure a linebacker will step out and help, but there's an advantage if you're going to go ahead and throw the football. But again, do you have the guts? Do you have the guts to do it here on 4th and inches? It's early in the third quarter, but I tell you, I don't know if that's who you are. That's what you got to do.
They are going to come out from the gun. Cal Warnament, the lone back.
Now Lucas has adjusted their front a little bit here.
Cubs bringing the blitz all the way. Schultz to the outside. He's got a window. He's got a first down to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, nice play call and a nice adjustment also by Lucas, who showed one thing and then came out after the timeout in a totally different look. Blitzed the linebackers, but they run a speed option here. So even if you stop the quarterback, he had the pitch man to pitch to. So really good bit of coaching, a little coaching chess match between these two really good coaches on that play.
So it'll be 1st and goal. Senecas with a bunch 3 wide outs up here. They throw it to the top and nearly intercepted. Wow, right in and out of the hands.
Well, that was the occasion where Schultz's strong arm benefited him because he threw that ball like a rocket, and I think the Lucas defender just couldn't hold on to it. It was too hot for him to catch, but he put a lot of buzz on that football. And I don't know if anybody would have caught that thing. That thing was buzzing in there. And he steps into this throw and puts a lot of heat, and that hits him right in the number.
That was Hunter Kaltrider on the coverage there.
And we got a football on the field. And not the one we're playing with.
Yeah, we got some young kids playing football over on the sideline.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Play a little football on the sideline.
The other game going on out here at Bob Wine. You think they know there's actually a varsity contest going on, Effie?
Probably not.
They got their own problems. This is definitely a problem for Schultz. It's loose. It's on the ground. I think he's able to get down on it. So Schultz can't handle it. He fumbles it down to the ground. It was a pretty decent snap. Just went right through his fingers, and he tried to jump on it, but it just took him a little while to corral it. About 5 Cubs came bursting through. 6-yard loss, though, bring up a big 3rd down.
And that's one of the pickups that the officials made was once his knee was down and he touched that football, he's down. And I think the Cubs were still trying to gain control of it. But it seems like to me, Brian, I don't know about you, but it seems like the Senecas get more comfortable when it's 3rd and 4th down. They play a little bit more relaxed when it's 3rd and 4th down.
Who needs 1st and 2nd?
Right.
They definitely have been behind the chains this entire drive, but it hasn't slowed them down yet. From the 16. Schultz steps, throws, and it's going to be, wow, dropped again. Second time that a Lucas defender had a shot at it.
Wow. And that time, again, another great call. And, Blake Ronski was open, and this was one of the poor throws by Schultz. He threw it behind him on his back shoulder, and that time was that Corbin?
I think it was Grayson Jackson in the coverage that time.
On the coverage was able to step in and made a good play. He didn't catch it. I'm sure he wanted to, but that is a good defensive play. But that ball was thrown behind the receiver that time by Schultz.
They are going to roll the dice here. 4th down and goal from the 16-yard line. Schultz flushed, lobs it, back of the end zone, running out of room, but toe tapping. Oh, they're going to say he's forced out of bounds. No good. Nolan Beaker with an exceptional effort that he's not going to get credit for. We have got to watch this one more time. From my vantage point, I think he got a toe in the end zone.
I swear I thought he tapped it.
Oh, yeah. He got 2 feet in.
Wow. That was.
He got both feet in the end zone. What a travesty that the officials are going to rob him.
Wow.
Let's watch that one more time.
He caught the ball clean, so it was all about his feet. He caught it clean. Great catch.
Then you slow it down, and look, 1 foot, 2 foot.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, that one hurts.
Just ouch. Well, if you're a Lucas fan,
right,
you're not too upset.
Of course not. You got the ball now. You're running 1st down, and I want to say that was Grant Barrett with a 6-yard pickup there on 1st down, and the Lucas Cubs they're playing their game. They're rolling here.
This is where the Cubs wear on you in the second half. Barrett catches a burst, lowers the shoulder and lays the boom. Size love on the other end.
And again, Grant Barrett, a really nice run and finishes the run well. But again, this is what takes your heart. You know, you have a big play on the other end, doesn't go your way. But right now, the Calvert players and coaches have got to let that go. You know, they're playing against a team that physically can take your will. If your head's not in it, they've got to get back in this ball game and try to get a stop here on defense. You know, as tragic as that was of a call, they've got to be able to sit back and play as the Lucas Cubs just keep rolling.
That was Jackson on the carry this time on first down. He's out right near midfield. Gain of 5 on the play. And I know they got to get past it, but my heart's still weeping just a little bit for Nolan Beaker.
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. A tremendous play. And, you know, it happens all the time in sports. You know, not everyone is blessed to have 10 different replay angles and access to them. So, you know, the officials have to use what they have, which is their own eyes, and make the call based on that. And unfortunately for the Senecas, it just didn't go that way that time.
Calvert's got the Cubs now in a third down situation. Need 4 to move the chains as we're inching closer to the end here of this third quarter. Cubs on top by 9.
Now they are really eating this clock, which is, you know, sound game plan. And, you know, there is the illegal motion. Now, normally, again, you know, Lucas, the timing on these motions, this is something that they do every game, every play. So the timing is usually impeccable. But like you said, they've got a couple guys injured, guys that are normally in, and, you know, the timing is probably not exact the way it normally is. And it's cost them a couple times on 5-yard penalties. But this puts them behind the sticks here at third down and long, a little bit outside of their comfort zone, what they're used to.
Something we haven't seen from Lucas yet is that inside give counter from running back to
There you
running
go.
back,
You
and
called
right
it.
on cue. This is where they usually get big chunk yardage, and they're going to get it right here. Big run to the outside, and I've been waiting.
Wow.
That's their patented play.
Absolutely.
And how about Corbin Toms for the second time tonight? Or, I'm sorry, trying to give credit here. That was Jackson.
Yes. Wow. Well, how about Brian Skoronsky putting his ear to the offensive coordinator's headset for the Lucas Cubs? But, yeah, you were right. They had not – that's something that they usually run multiple times a game. We hadn't seen it yet, and right on time on a big third down, they bust through for a 25-yard gain.
This time it's Toms who just spelled out Jackson. And he gets him closer to the 25-yard line. 7 more for Lucas. Just chewing up yardage on the ground as they do in the second half. They wear you out. They take a lot of time off the clock, and they just frustrate you, Effie, because you're trying to get off the field. You know they're going to run it.
Right.
And dang it, you just can't slow them down.
Well, and especially for Calvert, who, like, understands, like, we have a game plan where we can score against them, but now you're frustrated because you can't get the ball back.
Toss to Barrett, following his blockers, and a nice tackle from Lee Morgan. We've seen him on multiple occasions tonight come from that backside.
Well, and that's the key. That's one of the places where Calvert has done well here in spots where they've ran the play down from the backside. But as you spoke about, that counter play, they have to be ready for that counter play because that goes for big yardage if you commit all your backside help to running down the play from the backside.
Cubs need 3 to move the chains. Inside give. And look at that pile just moving. The spark plug is going to take it in 24 yards to the zone.
Wow.
Zane Finley.
Wow.
What an animal.
Wow. Zane Finley just kept his legs churning. Did not stop. Even when it felt like the momentum was stopped, he kept his legs churning and broke free and hauls it in 24 yards for the touchdown.
So Lucas fans rejoice. They catch a break on the Beaker miscalled non-touchdown, and they drive it right down the field for 6. Looking for 8. But the bit of trickery here doesn't pay off.
What a turn of events, though. You go in, Calvert's down 9 with, an apparent score. You don't get the score, and then you give up a touchdown. Now you find yourself down 15 in the course of 2 minutes, and, that is just a heartbreaker. But for the Lucas Cubs, for you, it works out perfectly because you got a chance to run some clock. You've done what you normally do, and you played power football, and you powered it in, and got points at the end. So, Lucas right now is in a really good spot. They certainly, with this high-powered offense, have got to understand that they've got to play smart. They've got to play defense here. They can't allow them to have a quick score. But, you got to think. Now, this is where if you're the Calvert coaching staff, you got to start looking at the clock. Like, okay, how many possessions do we actually have left playing against this Lucas squad when they get it? Even if we do score, how many possessions do we have left? So you always have to keep that in consideration when you're playing here.
Still just a 2-possession game. 15 points is the differential. And Calvert has shown an ability to move the football at least on 3rd and 4th down here in this second half.
Right.
This one scooped up from the 15, reversing fields. And Yeagle won't even make the 25. So here comes Schultz and company. And as if you wanted to be reminded, let's show you what happened on their last drive. How close they came to pulling within a score. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Just heartbreaking.
That is a tough one. That's a tough one.
I still might put that up for a top play nominee.
Right,
That's
absolutely.
a heck of a catch.
That is a great catch.
On 1st down, they keep it on the ground. Warnament found a crease to the outside.
And that's the type of running play they'd like to have to give them some balance. 6-yard pickup. They're on 1st down. Now you're not behind the sticks and gives you more options here. And, it doesn't say, okay, we're going to pass it. And it gives you some balance. Now the defense has to play both run or pass.
Could be the final play of the 3rd. Schultz setting up the screenplay. Warnament drug down, and that will take us to the end of the quarter. Lucas with a 29-14 advantage, looking to bounce back with a big win here in week number 7.
When you're a local business owner, getting your business online can be a painful, expensive undertaking. But it doesn't have to be. With TMS Plus Digital Essentials, you'll get 6 essential services to launch your digital marketing, all for one low monthly price. Cut through the noise of today's digital world. No hype, just results. That's TMS Plus. Visit tmsplus.com now for your free digital snapshot and for a chance to win a free 5-page website.
Stop in the Cub Cave Carryout in Lucas. Conveniently stocked with everything you need, and even a one-stop pet shop. Located on Ohio 39 in the heart of Lucas. It's money time here on the OH.Report. 4th quarter action just about to get underway here at Bob Wine Field. with Effie James and Brian Skronsky on the call with you here. But a fun contest, back and forth. Lucas taking advantage of a tough piece of officiating. They drive down the field. Zane Finley with the most recent score. But the last time the Senecas had the football, they were able to drive it down the field, keeping some of that momentum alive here with a nice play from Schultz, hooking up with Yekel.
And right there, Schultz is, you know, one of the things that the young quarterback here will learn as he plays more is that every pass doesn't have to be a bullet. That was a 6-yard route, and he threw it. I mean, he reared back and threw that thing like he was throwing it 40 yards. And as he grows, he's got a tremendous amount of talent. He'll learn where to put touch on the ball and things like that. But, you know, right now they are playing with some balance. They've run the ball well here in the second half with Warnerman and, you know, playing a little bit more of the short passing game. But, again, you can see they're still having trouble shaking off that missed call. But they've got to get it going again and get their offense moving. But that was a first down pickup that time by Warnerman.
So it's a first down now from the 48. 2 receivers to each side. Cubs showing blitz. They drop back. And this is going to be tipped. Pressure bearing down on them from Colin Arnold. Second down.
You know, and at this point, that's the key for the Cubs. If they can get pressure on the quarterback, if they can get Schultz to throw the ball quicker or throw it off his back foot, you know, he has shown that that affects him a lot. So if they can get pressure on him, that can affect this passing game, because when he's allowed to sit back and has time to step into his throws, he has made some dynamic passes tonight. But anytime he's under pressure, he has been, like most quarterbacks are, you know, definitely not as accurate.
He's going to go deep. Oh, my goodness. He overthrew his intended target, who had absolutely nobody around him. Blake Ronski was running free.
Well, and I'll tell you what, though, even though it looked open, number 74, Colin Arnold, was unblocked and bearing down on the quarterback, and he saw him. He was on his front side, and that affected that throw. That absolutely affected that throw, and because, like you said, once again, Beaker is wide open.
That's what you call busted coverage, folks.
Right.
It doesn't cost the Cubs. And now it's third down, where the Senecas do some of their best work.
Absolutely.
Double team thrown. Sizlove laid out for it. Couldn't bring it in.
But that's great protection. He's able to step up where he makes his best throws and just a bit outside of the reach of Sizlove. But here we're fourth down, and I'm not surprised that they're going for it here at midfield.
Oh, they're going to have to with the way that Lucas can just milk the clock.
Right.
Cubs again showing blitz. They'll bring the heat. Plenty of time, one-on-one coverage, and another catch. Nolan Beaker, unbelievable performance tonight.
Wow. Nolan Beaker has a defender all over him. This is the definition of pass interference, and he still brings in the catch. Beautiful play. But as we've seen, this is where they're comfortable. Third down, fourth down, this is where they're comfortable.
That's what they do. That's what they do. So first and second down, just go ahead, throw them in the garbage. Let's just get on with the show.
Right.
See what they do here with an early down. They're going to keep it on the ground. And a big pop. Smolin came up. Laid down the blow.
You know, I like it, though, Brian. They are, you know, they found through this game they just can't, as much as they would like to throw it, that those runs are just enough to keep it honest to where they can have open receivers, where the Cubs can't play so many guys in the secondary. They have to commit more guys to the run, and they're running it just enough with Warnerment to force them to respect the run. So I like that call there on first down.
He's the lone back yet again to the left tip of Harry. Running that way, it's going to be an option look. Now he will pitch it. Warnerment, though, swarmed. Third down, and now the Senecas can play.
Yeah, and right. And see, that is the type of play that's just not going to work against the Lucas, especially not in the red zone. They swarm to the football too well as a defense. They are going to rally to the football. Once they recognize it is run, they are going to rally up to the football. Those stretched out plays, and a speed option is meant to attack the defense, and they tried to string it out. Just wouldn't work.
Schultz rolling left, sets his feet, throws to the end zone, and it's going to be broken up. Grayson Jackson knocked it out of the hands.
You know, Grayson Jackson and the rest of these defensive backs are really being challenged tonight. They have made some really good plays. You know, they've given up a few plays too, but they've also made some great plays on the ball for a team that doesn't see this type of passing attack a whole lot. They have really made some good plays on the ball.
That throw pretty much right where it
Absolutely.
needed to be from Harry Schultz,
Absolutely.
who he's had an impressive performance. Has not had an interception tonight, though the Cubs have got their paws on a few.
Absolutely.
Fourth down, they can move the chains if they get to the 5, but the Senecas want to talk things over. They know they got a big play coming up.
You know, this is essentially, you know, this is if they give the ball back to Lucas here, this is a point in the game where, you know, if you do get it back, it's going to be a very small amount of time. So they've got to make the right call here. And I don't think that, you know, the Senecas, as from what we've seen, I don't think they have like a 6-yard pass route or, you know, or things like that. They are going to look to get into the end zone from here, or like we saw on the short fourth down play, get their quarterback on the move and possibly give him a run throw option where if he doesn't have anything, he could try to run and get the first down. But either way, it really, you know, this is going to be a tough fourth down for the Lucas defense. They've got to find number 87, and even when you do, you've got to make a play on the football.
Giving the football back to Lucas right now at this point in the game definitely would be a backbreaker.
Right.
I'd like to thank our generous sponsors for allowing us to bring you coverage of tonight's game live and free, including Pinhook Meats, located at 236 West Main Street in Lucas. Ohio Valley Manufacturing, who's now hiring with great wages for manufacturing positions. The Lucas Community Center, dining, rentals, and fellowship. You can book online at lucascommunitycenter.com. And the Cub Cave Carryout, your one-stop shop for snacks, pet food, and craft beer. Play of the game coming up right here, folks. Yankel comes in motion. They'll fake the jet sweep to him, to the end zone, tipped and incomplete. The Lucas defense holds. As we take another look here, Jackson Sizelove is the target that gets his hands on it. I don't think this was intended for him. I think he's trying to gun it to the back of the end zone to Oronsky. Maybe not.
Yeah, again, Schultz has got one heck of an arm, and, you know, that arm has, you know, we've seen that arm do him good in this game where he's thrown it to right to Lucas defenders and they drop it.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's played a heck of a game. That time it was just a little bit too hot for Sizelove. Yeah, and this is where it can be trouble because they are going to, Lucas is going to milk this clock, and this is their comfort zone. You know, something like where like third and fourth down for Calvert has been comfort for them. This is Lucas' comfort zone.
Flags are going to come in. And this one's going to go against the Senecas. Offsides is going to make this a second down and 1 situation. And for Lucas, keeps the clock running. Gets you closer to picking up another first down where you can continue to drain. Inside give this time, Finley, I believe, the ball carrier. And he will get just enough.
Yeah, they're going to give him the first down.
This is the part of the contest if you're an Lucas opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, such frustration. You put everybody in the box, and they just keep churning out yardage somehow, some way. Nice jump cut right there. Tom's showing off some athleticism.
And, you know, that's the double handoff counter play, and, you know, that is their counter to when you decide you're going to put everything into the point of attack. They come back with that misdirection play, which is always effective, especially when, you know, they're trying to keep the ball inbounds, they're trying to keep the clock running. You know, it's kind of read and react for Lucas and their staff. If you line up this way, they're going to run this. You line up that way, we run that. And right now, you just, as a defense, you just have to make a play. You've got to get in the backfield and try to make a play.
Cubs snap it with 5 on the play clock. Barrett in between the tackles, out to the 40-yard line. He'll move the chains. So precious seconds ticking off the clock here if you're a Senecas fan. And you just feel helpless.
Right. And, you know, to me, it's a credit to the Lucas offense and their program, you know, to have this style of offense that people know what you're going to do, and you're just helpless against it. There's another power run here by the fullback.
Zane Finley turns it into a 6-yard gain. And the Cubs going to take another 30 seconds off of the game clock.
Right. You know, it's first down, power runs, and first downs here to try to close out this football game.
They actually snapped it with 18 on the play clock. But they still get the first down. Lucas just showing off now.
Right.
Here it is, just straight power right up the gut.
Great lead blocking that time. And Grant Barrett, 21 carries. And with 5 minutes to go, I'd say he's probably got a little more work left on this night. But great night carrying the football.
Counter attack. Coming back near side, Corbin Toms. Able to pick up just a couple.
Corbin Toms on the carry. Third scores from around the area, fourth quarter, Ashland 24, Mansfield Senior 21.
And we just heard over the loudspeaker, Ashland with a lead at Mansfield Senior, Effie's alma mater, 24-21. That game live streaming right now on the OH.Report. If you want to flip over, check in on that one.
Still got time.
5 games actually live right now on our airwaves. Barrett fighting for extra yards. Got about 6. They needed 7, so it'll bring up 3rd down. And as we look ahead here for Lucas, who appears to be winding down the clock to victory number 6 on the year. Next week, they go to winless Hilltop. Then versus Fort Laramie in their final game at home, who's 2-4. And then the big one that I know that a lot of people here in Cubs country have been talking about, they go to Mogador in week 10. Wow, Zane Finley again! The little engine that never stops all the way down to the 11, 26 yards on 3rd down and short.
You know, the interesting thing about that run for Finley is once he got out in the open, he started looking around for people to hit. He didn't he? He didn't want to run. He didn't want to run free. He wanted to hit somebody.
So 1st and 10 from the 11. Barrett gets down close to the 6. Take a look at that last run by Zane Finley. I'm slowing it down for you guys a little bit.
Right.
A lot of chaos there in the middle. But look at Zane spinning out of the traffic, and then you're right.
He's looking
like,
for people.
I just want to touch somebody.
Right.
Excellent run. Finley the lead. Back this time, and how about the block by Zane Finley, opening it up for Toms into the end zone. Pop off the fireworks one more time for the Lucas fans.
Excellent execution, and I've said it before, but you know, the clinic that they put on with this running attack, this rushing attack is just, it is seamless. Their timing, their leverage, the way that their linemen play with so much leverage, their way that their running backs know where the creases are going to be. It is, if you're a football junkie, you understand how hard that is to teach high school players, and they've got it mastered down here in Lucas.
The PAT, pure from color. So the Cubs tack on one more.
43 seconds to go in the ball game here at Bob Wine Field to score.
And another impressive season in the making out here in Lucas. You just keep thinking, when will the dominance begin to slow down? Not this season.
No, and I would venture to say not as long as Coach Spittler and this staff stay in place, and because they've got the formula, and the formula is bringing up. I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of these young people and the young ones, and I love looking on the sidelines and seeing Lucas jerseys, and that's how you know the dominance is going to continue, because the little ones that are on the sidelines, the water boys, and all these young people here in the stands, they can't wait to be Lucas Cubs, and that's how you know the dominance is going to continue the way they play. And you know, they found something special here, and it's the buy-in. You know, a lot of kids today, it would be tough to be in some schools and have them buy into, okay, this is how we're going to play. 90% of the time, you're going to have to block.
Right.
And I don't care how, you know, you're going to have to block 90% of the time. Their best skill guys block 90% of the time. So when you have that type of commitment and buy-in from your kids, you're going to be successful, and they've done a great job of that here.
We're going to go with an onside kick, actually, Effie.
How about it?
Almost got it.
They did get it. How about it? That's game.
So the Cubs recover. They are going to be able to steal this thing. What a way to close it out. We'll take one more look here at 50% speed. The guts just to call that. Yeah, it's still available, and then it becomes loose on the ground, and the Cubs fall on it.
Fall on it. They got it.
Wow.
Wow.
Ain't no party like a Lucas Cub party. I'll tell you that.
Well, you know, and again, when you think about the strategy of that, it's just about closing the football game. You know, you give a team with that type of high-powered offense, they could literally score in one play. So, you know, it's just a strategy to close the game. It's really a no. You know, you can't lose with that, and now the Cubs get to do what they do, which is close the game here on the ground.
They toss it to Langston, who shows a burst, gets stood up, but he's got a first down on the run. And
a little surprised, the pitch sweep there. That's almost like throwing a pass to the Lucas Cubs.
You know, one thing, Effie, that got me thinking, you was talking about the Lucas offense and, you know, how maybe some of your best skill guys don't touch it. I'm looking right now. They've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys run the football at the varsity level this year. Right. So you can touch the football, just not if you're a wide receiver.
Right. There you go. There you go.
The quarterbacks, too, that's where you're blocking 90% of the time. That's the tough buy-in, I think. We saw a couple of years ago.
I absolutely love that.
When they made that run all the way to the state championship game, Logan Niswander could throw the football. He was a great athlete. But, boy, when he would get out in front and block.
He was one of their best. One of their best. Blocked like a fullback.
See Smolin doing similar things this season. So there's definitely a lot of guys that are capable runners for this Lucas team.
Sure.
Just don't expect to catch too many passes. No completions tonight, correct? I don't think they needed one.
No. Wow. There's a quarterback on the keeper.
So Smolin picking up a first down. And now the Cubs can go into victory formation if they want. Impressive performance, a very Lucas-like win.
Right. Yeah, at the end of, everything that happened and all the, the dynamic plays on both sides, this is how Lucas plays football. And, they stuck to how they play. They made some plays. And, I'm impressed with their secondary. They did give up some big plays as the Cubs here are going to close it out here taking a knee. But they gave up some plays, but they made a lot more plays. Now, we're always going to remember the big plays that they gave up offensively to Calvert, but they made their defensive backs made some great plays on the defensive side against this team that has such a talented quarterback and receiving crew.
So that knee will earn Lucas their 6th win in 7 outings and basically all but clinches them a home playoff game in Week 11. So the Cubs engine continues to roar as we'll let the final seconds tick off here before we make it officially official. But that will do it. Final score, Lucas 36, Calvert 14. Make sure you stick around, though. The TMS Plus post-game will be coming up where we'll have an interview with our player of the game. We'll have to decide who that is, Effie. A couple of names come to mind. I really like Zane Finley did some great things tonight. Corbin Toms, a couple of explosive plays. So we'll discuss. Drop us a line also in the comment section on Facebook and YouTube. Let us know who you think is worthy as well. We'll be back with that as well as final stats and analysis. So keep it here. High school football, Week 7, rolls along on the OH Report.
When you're a local business owner, getting your business online can be a painful, expensive undertaking. But it doesn't have to be. With TMS Plus Digital Essentials, you'll get 6 essential services to launch your digital marketing, all for one low monthly price. Cut through the noise of today's digital world. No hype, just results. That's TMS Plus. Visit tmsplus.com now for your free digital snapshot and for a chance to win a free 5-page website.
Stop in the Cub Cave Carryout in Lucas. Conveniently stocked with everything you need, and even a one-stop pet shop. Located on Ohio 39 in the heart of Lucas. Final score here tonight, Lucas 36, the Senecas 14. And another impressive win by the Lucas Cubs. Brian Skronsky, Effie James with you with your final stats. And Lucas just doing what they do, man. 13 first downs for them. Every single yard that they picked up was on the ground. They didn't have to complete a pass because they just wear you down throughout the game. They got a number of different weapons that can tote the rock, and they showcased it here tonight, even up against a fabulous passing attack of Calvert, which was successful at times.
Sure. And, you know, these stats really, they tell the story. And you know, although Calvert, you know, look, they had a good night. They made a lot of mistakes. They got behind the sticks. They had a good enough game plan to come in here and be successful. But at the end, if you're going to come in here and win, you've got to be able to stop the run, and they just could not do it tonight. 360 total yards, 360 rush yards for the Cubs, and I don't care what offense you have. If you cannot stop the Cubs' rushing attack, you cannot come in here and win, and that's how they came up a little bit short tonight.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take one last time out. We've got Zane Finley is going to be our MVP. He is standing by. We'll be right back with that interview. Stay tuned.
When you're a local business owner, getting your business online can be a painful, expensive undertaking. But it doesn't have to be. With TMS Plus Digital Essentials, you'll get 6 essential services to launch your digital marketing, all for one low monthly price. Cut through the noise of today's digital world. No hype, just results. That's TMS Plus. Visit tmsplus.com now for your free digital snapshot and for a chance to win a free 5-page website.
Stop in the Cub Cave Carryout in Lucas. Conveniently stocked with everything you need, and even a one-stop pet shop. Located on Ohio 39 in the heart of Lucas. We're now back with the player of the game presented by the Cub Cave Carryout. It is Zane Finley. 8 carries, 70 yards, and a big touchdown tonight for the Cubs. But most impressively, man, you're just always leading the way. You're out there offensively, defensively, giving up the body, just playing big for your team. And that's kind of the Lucas way. I feel like you really embody the spirit of Lucas football. Describe to the folks at home that maybe don't know 100% about the culture, what does Cubs football mean, and what do you bring to the table?
We pay it back forward. We do everybody does their 111th, and we pay it back. Everyone does our 111th, and we're going to work hard all as a family, and we're going to bust it out every week. Want to know every week.
To do that every single week when the game plan is that you're going to run it down people's throats, they know what you're going to do. You're going to line up in the same formations and run the same plays. What, in your opinion, makes it so successful that week in, week out, you guys keep piling up the victories, 6-1 to start the season?
Oh, you know, it's awesome because it's just great to see us doing what we're doing and keep doing it every year. That's our goal. Want to know every week. We're just getting better every week to make it better in the long run.
Describe a little bit more your role in the offense and just waiting for your opportunities. You don't touch the ball a ton, but when you do, you're a big difference maker.
Basically like a pulling guard, I would say, as a fullback. You know, I get my kick out. I block my guy. I get Scooby snacks once in a while.
Yeah.
But big shout out to my offense line. I couldn't do it without him.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job, and we saw there on one of your last runs of the night, you burst through, it looks like there's some space around you, and you start looking around. You just wanted to bulldoze through some guys. Just describe your running style, and do you just like creating contact when you run it? It's no fun in the open field, right?
No, I love contact, you know. Every play, that's my goal. I'm going to hit that end every play when I'm blocking, and when I'm running the ball, I want to hit somebody too.
So you guys, you got a couple of good playmakers out right now. 2 running backs unable to play, but you keep plugging in new guys. You keep piling up the victories. You know, what is it about this team and this culture that allows for the next man up mentality to really work out pretty much every single year?
The coaches work with them. We work with them. We support them. We say next man up, let's do it. And they just step in and they do a great job.
All right, Zane Finley, our MVP, presented by the Cub Cave Carryout. If you got any shout-outs that you want to give to the people watching at home, now's the time, buddy.
Shout out to all the Lucas fans. I love you guys and my offensive line and the rest of my team. I love you guys and coaches. Great job, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
And a great job by you, Spark
Thank you.
Plug, tonight. Always a pleasure watching you play. Big performance again as the Cubs get a huge victory. All right, one more time, the final score here, 36-14. Lucas pulls off another victory as they are dominant again here at Bob Wine Field. Fantastic stuff, per always. Want to thank our entire staff for helping make today's game possible, including Adam Thompson, who builds all the graphics for us. Blake Phelps was on camera. Effie James, my color commentator. I'm Brian Skoronsky, thanking everybody for watching, including our awesome sponsors, and we'll be on a live stream near you real soon. But for now, from Bob Wine, we out of here.